Hey everybody, this is Doomhammer with another week in this 32-team franchise. We're going to go ahead and get started with going over a summary of the Week 6 schedule. So in this matchup, the Patriots fall to the Buffalo Bills. I couldn't believe it myself when it was happening. As you can see, Brady outplayed Tebow. The running game was definitely with the Buffalo Bills there, as you can see. Didn't mean to click on him, but Kareem Williams doing well, Tebow running it in, but just not able to come through with it on Thursday Night Football. Patriots do descend to the 4th seed in the AFC East, which is a shocker. In this game here, we see the Cleveland Browns with 4 passing touchdowns by Vince Young to defeat the New Orleans Saints. So this was an interesting matchup. I thought the Saints were going to come away with the win here because they were a more competitive team at 3-2, but unfortunately they fall short to the Cleveland Browns. Then the Houston Texans, coming off a win last week, are unable to come away with a win this week. We see Sanchez actually having a good game, 3 touchdowns, 288 yards, and arguably better than Matt Ryan. But in this game, it was 2 touchdowns by Julio Jones, and the touchdown there by Shane Vereen that gives the Oakland Raiders the win. Then we've got the Minnesota Vikings taking on the Chicago Bears. The Bears were appearing to be the team to beat in the NFC North, and the Vikings challenged that. 3 touchdowns by RG3. By the very end of the game, it was blowout, so Jay Cutler got a pass, and he had 33% of the time he throws an interception. We see Jason Campbell, 2 of 2, only 113 yards, 5 completions the entire game, so not looking good for him. Running game, non-existent. Whereas the Vikings had 95 yards from Doug Martin. So Vikings are closing the gap, and they just inched their way to the 7th seed in the playoffs if they were to start today. Speaking of the other team that is now the 7th seed in their conference, the Jacksonville Jaguars went from being, I think, 0-3 or like 1-2, something like 1-3, something like that, now on a win streak there with Colt McCoy, who is being quite the game manager. He ran a touchdown in, but he has 213 yards, no turnovers, which is the big thing. Tavon Austin, the rookie, getting 88 yards. Meanwhile, the Colts are struggling. They actually descend to 4th place in their division. The question is going to be is whether Brady Quinn continues to stay the starting quarterback. Tara Taylor's not going to be it, but Kirk Cousins is the one that the fans probably would want. And in real life, Cousins was kind of the backup for RG3 at this time. So he wasn't even his full Kirk Cousins self, but it's going to be, he does have a higher overall than Brady Quinn, 3 years younger. So we'll see if Coach Cowher makes the decision to go with Kirk Cousins over Quinn. Probably next week will be Quinn. We'll see where they are. If they're still like 4th place, they'll probably make the switch. Then the Pittsburgh Steelers get that 1-game lead over their division by defeating the Panthers. As you can see, 2 turnovers there by Flacco, major issue for them. We see 57 yards by Miller, 34 by Todman, but a touchdown apiece. Lamar Miller getting 103 receiving yards, so good for him. Both tight ends getting involved, Cook and Walker getting a touchdown. Pittsburgh doing what they have to do to win their division, and if they make the playoffs, anything can happen. They're in a weak division right now. Then you have the Tennessee Titans and the Dallas Cowboys. I believe this was settled in overtime. But we have Tavares Jackson with 5 passing touchdowns, 439 yards. Greg Jennings making his return to the game, and let's see, was this his first game back, or was this his second game back? Yeah, he's only played 2 games this season, already at 345 yards. And so that's huge for them, getting him back from injury. Brad Smith, who is actually one of the league's best, let's see, he's got 632 yards in 6 games. He's looking really good, and I expect him to continue. And then Matt Slater also getting 2 touchdowns. It's amazing how Tennessee has had some really solid receivers. Greg Jennings, I think, is the 2nd best overall receiver in the league. I think Calvin Johnson is the number 1 because I think he's 99 or something like that. But it's basically between Calvin Johnson and Greg Jennings is the best receiver in the league, and Greg Jennings shows why that is. We see Russell Wilson getting 135 yards rushing, and he has been fantastic on the ground. We're looking at, let's see, does it show his rushing? I don't think it does. Okay, he's got like 285 or something like that yards. I don't know if this game changed much of that. He does throw more interceptions than touchdowns, but he did run 2 in, so I guess he's 3 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Peterson kind of slow this game, only 23 yards. Then we've got the New York Jets ascending to number 1 in the division. Dolphins getting 2 losses this year. And this was the team that could have gone 17 and 0, and they've lost 2 games already. We see 5 touchdown performance by Alex Smith, who is the highest rated quarterback in the league, 97 overall there, 340 yards, 5 touchdowns, beautiful performance. Most of it was Percy Harvin with 256 yards. You'll see his highlights coming up. 4 TDs for Percy Harvin. He is having a season, one to be really acknowledged, 8 touchdowns, 693 yards. But Jets come away with the close game victory because that like a long Percy Harvin touchdown you'll see later. Seattle comes away with not being the loser of the loser with a 2-4 record after defeating the 1-4 Lions. Both teams were 1-4. Glennon gets his second career win, and so that's good for him. 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Lynch was 79 yards, trying to get Gillespie a little bit involved. He's been a bit slow this season. Meanwhile, Tannehill's not really doing bad. He got 2 touchdowns. He had 72 yards rushing, but this supporting cast here in Detroit is not great. Tannehill may not make the team in future seasons, like if head coach Rob Ryan gets fired and I bring a new coach into Detroit, there is a chance that they could draft a quarterback like maybe Manziel or Bortles that might fit their scheme differently. So Tannehill might be on his way out. We'll see if that's true or not. And Seattle, the better Mike Glennon plays, he could play them out of drafting a quarterback. So if he's able to get them maybe picking 8 through 12, they might be deciding to go with a receiver like Odell Beckham or Brandon Cooks or whoever else was in that draft class in 2014. So they could go somewhere else if Glennon proves to be a suitable starter moving forward. Then we had the battle of the Mannings. Eli didn't do terrible in his debut with 229 yards and 1 touchdown, 1 interception, but it wasn't good enough to beat his brother, who was 238 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. We see that their starting running back, Le'Veon Bell, got injured, so 4 weeks. So LeGarrette Blount and Jamal Lord were taking the workload as running backs. Braylon Edwards with 90 yards there. We see Bubba Franks and even Blount getting a touchdown as well. But Ravens are 2-4. They're 1 game behind Pittsburgh, just as the Browns are. So the division in the AFC North is still up for grabs, but not because anyone's playing well. It's just because everyone sucks. And then this is the game that ended Brandon Whedon's starting career so far, unless Kevin O'Connell gets hurt. But we see Luck with 4 touchdowns, no turnovers. The Rams are marching. They are stampeding to the finish line here this season. They started off slow, and now they're picking up their pace. We see Justin Hunter there getting 91 yards. Good for the rookie. Trent Richardson with 49 yards. But Kevin O'Connell comes in the second half. He gets 126 yards passing, 1 touchdown. That was to Hunter. Whedon, 4 of 14. We see O'Connell doubling those completions. O'Connell will be the starter next week. Then we got the 49ers versus the Cardinals. Both teams were 3-2. The winner of this game was going to take a game lead in the NFC West. Breeze with 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. We see MJD getting 64 yards for his new team. James Jones gets 145 yards. Des Bryant 110 with 2 touchdowns. And then we've got Dalton with 154 yards, and they almost pulled it off, but just was unable to come through. Mike Wallace still leads the league in receiving with those 82 yards in that game. Then we've got the Green Bay Packers. They were 2-3, and the Commanders were 1-4. And in this game, we see Best even threw a pass. You'll see that highlight later. And then Michael Vick had a pretty solid game. He didn't do much on the ground, 11 yards, only 1 rush, but he did more through the passing, 14 of 22. Matthew Stafford had a mediocre game, but he wasn't able to rise to the occasion. We see Randall Cobb as kind of the main target for him, didn't really spread the ball around. Whereas Vick had Vincent Jackson, Travis Kelce, even a 33-yard reception for Michael Vick. Devon Best with 28. And then Goodson got 2 screen pass touchdowns. And then to conclude, we've got the Giants taking on the Eagles. Giants were 1 game ahead of the Eagles, so this was a huge game for the Philadelphia Eagles to take first place in the NFC East. 5 touchdowns for McNabb, 3 for Palmer, but he also ran 2 touchdowns in. Ryan Matthews at 54 yards, Gore with 42. And then you can see the passing, a lot of spreading of the ball around to Aromashodu, Quick, Matthews. This is Tyrus Johnson. And then you've got Deshaun Jackson, Decker, Ginn, Miller, all getting touchdowns for the Eagles. And the Eagles are able to come away with the 42-40 victory. So when we look at the standings, I know that's what I started out with. The AFC East is competitive as hell. All these teams, any of these teams, the whole division could go to the playoffs, depending on how the rest of the divisions fare. The Tennessee Titans are a shocking first-place team with rookie head coach Gus Bradley and his quarterback Tavares Jackson. The AFC North is up in the air for any AFC North team. However, I don't think any of them are going to be in a good chance for the wild card seed. Oakland is a half game ahead here of San Diego and Denver. We'll see what San Diego and Denver do next week, if they're able to kind of catch up with Oakland. In the NFC, we see that the Eagles, Giants, Cowboys, all very competitive. Probably the toughest division is the East, and somewhat these NFC South. We see the Falcons and Buccaneers leading the way, but the Panthers, Saints, Cowboys, Vikings, Rams, Cardinals are all very competitive for that NFC wild card. The Rams are on a 2-game win streak, so they were 1-3, and so here they are coming back in this season. As for stats, here are the top 5 passers. Palmer is still at the top with almost over 200 yards separating him, and now Tavares Jackson. When we look at touchdowns, we see McNabb, Brady, and Roethlisberger with 17. And Matt Ryan, Tim Tebow, Quinn, Vick, and Brady are leading the league with interceptions, along with Roethlisberger and Sanchez tying Brady. Rushing, we've got Chris Johnson, Ryan Matthews, Darren McFadden, Ray Rice, all here. And McFadden just had a bye week. And then touchdown-wise, we see Matt Forte with 11, just doing it all for Miami. Then we got Mike Wallace, Percy Harvin, Brad Smith, Devin Aromashodu, and Michael Crabtree coming here with the league leaders in yards and receptions. With our touchdowns, Mike Wallace leads the league, and followed by Bryant, Johnson Jr., and Harvin. I'm going to go faster here. I'm not going to read them all off for you, but you are welcome to pause this video to see the league leaders in these defensive categories and kicking categories. But yeah, so next week's going to be exciting. We've got some interesting matchups. Can the Bills keep their shocking AFC East wins? Or will the Tennessee Titans continue to stomp their competition and continue going? But yeah, thanks for watching this video. I will be sharing highlights next. Here we go with the first highlight. We see Tim Tebow rolling to the outside, throwing the ball up, caught by Jacoby Jones. Nice touchdown there for Buffalo. Again, Buffalo another time. This is where they extend the lead by 14 points. Or 10 points. Excuse me, 10 points. Then we have Tim Tebow throwing the ball there to Kobe Fleener. Another touchdown. Buffalo does go on to win that game. Then Vince Young looking deep for Roddy White, who gets the touchdown over the Saints. And that wasn't the first time, or the only time. That was the first time. It wasn't the only time. Here we go. Young rolling out very similarly, and Roddy White's there again later in the game to get his second touchdown of the game, third for the Browns. Leftwich back to pass, looking to throw. He rolls out, and he gets the touchdown, running it in. And there you see a beautiful corner pass there to the corner of the end zone to Dwayne Allen. Game mostly wrapped up here. Browns in commanding lead. Then we have Deion Butler, the speedster, scoring a touchdown there for New Orleans. And later we see, very similarly somehow, just missed assignment or just Deion Butler so fast. But Butler gets 2 touchdowns there, closing the gap, but still falling short of the victory. Cleveland wins that one. And here we go, the missed deflection, and Dennis Pitta just powering his way through for the Houston Texans. But Matt Ryan, there you see a beautiful little toe touch touchdown to Julio Jones. There we see Matt Ryan rolling out again, and he's going to hit Jones another time for a touchdown. As you can see, the evening starts to take over with the shade, and there's Stephen Hill, who powers his way into the end zone. There we see Shane Vereen running in for a touchdown, extending Oakland's lead. Oakland does win that game. Then you have RG3 throwing the ball to Baldwin. Beautiful touchdown there. The Vikings just put on a clinic against the Chicago Bears. So a good game for them. And we see a deep throw there to Dustin Keller. Bears now get on the scoreboard with 37 seconds left in the half. Campbell was trying not to go down without a fight. And there you see a beautiful pass there to Williams. And there we have Griffin back to pass, and he just throws another beautiful ball there, this time to Thielen. Vikings do win that game. And here we have the Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the rival Colts, and Colt McCoy gets popped running into the end zone, but he still gets in. And then we have Brady Quinn, who rolls out, and he decides to do his own Colt McCoy impersonation and runs in for the touchdown. And then we have Colt McCoy again. He hands the ball off to DeMarco Murray, who's returning from injury. Jaguars win that game. Then we have Joe Flacco looking to throw. Throws it up, caught by Torrey Smith. Flacco and Torrey Smith were buddies in Baltimore in real life, and they are buddies here in Carolina. Then we see Pittsburgh connecting with Delaney Walker. Flacco looking to throw, and he throws deep to Stovall. Beautiful play there. And then we see the fake handoff. Big Ben connects with his other tight end, Jared Cook, who comes back from injury. He's been a very reliable second tight end for them. Kind of like a New England Patriots, Gronk and Hernandez duo. You see Lamar Miller just running right into the end zone there. And then with 8 seconds left, we just run the ball with Jordan Todman, who tries to hurdle his way and gets into the end zone for the score. Then we see the Tennessee Titans. And this is what I'm talking about. Tavares Jackson making things happen. Right now, I would say he's probably the best quarterback from that 2006 draft class. And we see him roll out again, and we see a beautiful connection there. Leaping, diving catch by Brad Smith, who has been stellar this year. Then we see Russell Wilson trying to make things happen, and he does with that read option, running his way through 2 defenders for the score. Then we see Tavares Jackson back to pass, looking to throw, throws it, and it's caught. Another beautiful touchdown there. That was Slater, I believe. And then we have Greg Jennings one more time. Dallas gets the ball, gets it very close, and we see Russell Wilson running in for the second touchdown. He's been the leading rusher for quarterbacks this season. But then Tavares Jackson makes the connection to Slater, and they score, going up 35-32, which does end up being the result of the game. And then we have the Jets, where I have a lot of Percy Harvin highlights because he had a huge game for the Jets. So just showing you some of these plays here because he was all over the field. There we go with another one. I do a lot of possession catches because I try to make sure I get the first down or get the yards. And there he goes, connects again, this time for a touchdown. A diving catch that time in the third quarter. Another slant route there. And here he is on the slant, breaks free, and he gets a touchdown here for the Jets. This win does put the Jets in first place, which is great for them. And as you can see, Matt Forte with a huge run for the Miami Dolphins to keep them in this game in the fourth quarter. Miami has been explosive. They're a team to beat, but apparently the Jets did pull this one off to beat the Dolphins. And there's one more time for Percy Harvin getting the game-winning touchdown in a major way. Then we got the Seattle Seahawks with a few highlights. We see a very simple screen pass to Marshawn Lynch, bursting his way for the score. Then we have Mike Glennon back to pass, looking to throw, and he connects with Josh Morgan, who has open field to run, and he gets into the end zone. Then we got Ryan Tannehill back to pass, looking to throw, throws across the middle. Kenny Britt with the score. Detroit is still trailing. These are two 1-4 teams, and it's looking like Seattle's going to come away with it. As you see, the late touchdown there is not enough to retake the lead. This game, we had the Manning brothers going against each other. Eli Manning traded to Baltimore just this past week. And then Peyton Manning is the one that kept putting up points. As you can see there, connected with 2 passing touchdowns, a screen pass here for a third. There we go. Eli Manning hands the ball off there to Ray Rice, who powers his way in for the score. Falcons get the win. Then we see Matt Jones Jr. getting the touchdown there. The Rams have been a little bit hot recently, and so they're going to try to keep that alive, keep that going. We see a beautiful touchdown there to Crabtree. Andrew Luck looking to throw, rolls out and throws up. And we see another touchdown pass there to Jones Jr. The Chiefs do bench Whedon and put Kevin O'Connell in. And then we have this beautiful play here. Big catch by Justin Hunter. Bouncing off defenders, gets the score. We have Luck throwing over the middle between 3 defenders. He just dots the eye there. Beautiful touchdown. And there we see a beautiful touchdown there by Givens. I love that turnaround catch. That looked like a more of a realistic catch than some of these Madden ones. And there I was trying to throw deep to the receiver on the left. And then you have, I think that's Napoleon Harris or David Harris, one of the two. I think it's David Harris. Runs it in for a pick 6. Breeze tries again this time. This time he has protection. And he completes it for a touchdown to Des Bryant. Here we are looking to throw. Breeze back to pass. Throws it over the middle. Caught by Bryant, who gets a big play there. Gets out of bounds with 30 seconds left. Trying to wrap up this game. And with the win, a touchdown pass to Des Bryant will do it. Then we have the Commanders versus the Packers. Nice little screen pass there from Vic to Goodson. And we see Matthew Stafford trying to find a man, and he finds Randall Cobb, who runs into the end zone. Beautiful play there. Green Bay ahead by 4. And here we have a little trick play there. Wanted to give this one a try. And we see Devon Bess connecting to Michael Vick for a really big play there. No, it was not a touchdown, but I thought it was a cool play, and it worked. Later that drive, I believe, we see another screen pass to Goodson, who takes the lead for the Commanders. Commanders do go on to win that game. Donovan McNabb throws it deep to Eric Decker, and he's gone. Decker has not really been that active this season, but this game was the game to watch. We see Palmer now looking to throw, and this time he's going to go and take it with his leg. Legs, I guess, plural. And here we go. The Eagles are not taking this lead lightly, and here they are just dropping a beautiful connection there to Ted Ginn Jr. This is why the Eagles are so tough, is that any of their receivers can just bullet down the field. And then we see another connection there to Deshaun Jackson. Here we are, McNabb looking to throw, and right there he runs up and throws the beautiful pass there for the touchdown. Carson Palmer is also getting involved. That's Taurus Johnson. I kind of left the screenshot in there because I didn't know who he was. I've totally forgot about him. He doesn't even have a face. So Palmer making it happen with all these different receivers. There we see Heath Miller connect for the touchdown. And then Palmer runs it in one more time. 28-28. Close game. And he connects over the middle. Caught for a touchdown. Palmer also going to try to get there with 30 seconds left. Let's see how Palmer do it. And he connects with Niles Paul. With 27 seconds left, he's going to go for 2. Into the hands of Graham and misses it. So here they are trying for the onside kick. And I can't tell you how this happened, but instead of the Eagles getting the ball and kneeing it, they get a kick return touchdown. And there is Jim Caldwell's face with just utter disappointment in how his team performed on that play. But this gave the Giants another chance to come down and tie the game. So they start off with a short little pass there. We see a timeout. Carson Palmer trying to make things happen. And he gets sacked. So I'm thinking, not great. So we throw it deep there to Roma Shodu, and instead of getting tackled, he gets pushed out of bounds. So with 2 seconds left, Palmer back to pass. Looking to throw, throws it deep in double coverage to the running back Tawan Jones, and he gets it. insane catch right there. I couldn't believe it when I saw it. And they do decide to go for 2. And here's the results of whether they can tie the game. And they can't. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.